So welcome back YouTube, how are you? So yes, I'm here now, I'm back in the wilderness again. So if you want to see some of this, if you want to see some crazy winds, and you want to see me plant up my cuttings, then stick around. So let's walk. So I've got my secateurs, I've got my bags, and I'm equipped. So I could start here and get some cuttings straight away from this plant here, which is I've spoken about it before, but it's an Olearia macrodonta. And it flowers around late spring, evergreen, kind of looks like holly, not as prickly as holly, doesn't feel fierce, it's not like to the touch, but it's a lovely shrub. It's tree/shrub, flowers, honestly, in the springtime, late spring, this will be a cloud of white, beautiful shrub. Definitely one to recommend for windbreak, i.e. why they've got this here, because it's very windy here. You will see, if you stick around, you will see how windy it gets. Tomorrow we're in for some crazy wind, like gusts up to 84, 81 miles an hour, which is like Marilyn Monroe would be gone. A dress wouldn't fly up, she'd be all over the place basically. So I'm going to go out in it and make you and have you feel the wind. That's weird, wind makes you feel alive. Anyways, I'm blabbing about that, but just you honestly, it's crazy. So yeah, I will get some cuttings of this, but it's already been trimmed back here, so I'm going to find a place so it's not so obvious that I've cut stuff. Like the man who owns this place said I could take some cuttings, but it'll be a bit obvious if I take them from here, so I don't want to make it look stupid. So yeah, so I'm going to keep walking. I'm going to find a nice spot, and I'm not sure what I've got in mind what I want. There's 3 to 4 shrubs I want to take back, so let's find them. But this is one of them, macrodonta, lovely shrub. So we'll get cutting when we find it, but let's go find some more evergreen gems. So I found some holly. Here we have holly. Holly, 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 tits in a trolley. Remember that song? But it's Ollie in it, not holly. But yeah, so holly, prickly shrub. Ilex, I always forget the second name. Ilex something. I put at the bottom of the screen as I do. And yeah, it's a lovely plant. Used in reefs, so if you might have seen it around people's doors, good deterrent. If you've got one of those walls that people like to jump over, you don't want to use barbed wire, you want to use something natural, holly is your go-to right here. Lovely red berries this time of year, and a good habitat for birds, gets good defense. I know kind of predators want to come in and get pricked and stuff. So yeah, but I'm not getting cuttings of this. I'm not about to get pricked today. I'm not in the mood. I'm not a fan of holly. I've seen it in places up here and it doesn't look very happy. Here it's happy, yes, because it's got shelter. It's in shelter, but for me to use this as my initial windbreak. Oh, and I forgot to mention why I'm here. Reason being I'm here to get evergreens is because, yes, I'm going to plant loads of deciduous trees and try and mimic this environment here. Because look at this ash. There's an ash tree over there, like about flipping 30 feet tall. Like, it's crazy. This place is mad. Like, you would never think it's just here, but he's obviously gone to work. But oh, he's got a bit of beech. Beech. Is it beech? Beech or hornbeam? Yes, beech. And the trick is, beech and hornbeam are very similar, pretty much exactly the same in my eyes, but not exactly the same. But the reason that we can tell the difference is because beech, they hold onto their leaves come winter time and they just look kind of dead. And hornbeam, they lose their leaves. So that's the difference between hornbeam and beech. Very similar tree, very similar kind of growing, it was identical until this time of year. So that's the best way to kind of go about that, remembering hornbeam and beech. So let's walk and talk. So basically I'm getting evergreens because it's windy all the bloody time. But like October onwards till like February and Jan, apparently the worst times of year when there's just storms all the bloody time. So if I can get an evergreen shrub or evergreen kind of hedge / windbreak established, then it'll give me kind of more play to put in kind of deciduous stuff behind it. So here's a prime example of what I was talking about with the kind of protection of kind of evergreens on your deciduous stuff. Because to southwest is over there. And that's where most of the prevailing winds come past. So what would happen, it would just channel through those hills there. Not sure the names of these hills, but they call a hill up here Ben. And it would just, the katabatic wind would just come flying down and just batter anything. You see here's bare, and you can see it's got a lot of evergreens down there, a lot of kind of spruce and cypress and stuff down here. And here's kind of exposed. And you can see these deciduous trees down here kind of struggling. They're existing, but not as good as the stuff over here, which is behind this line of macrodonta and some spruce and kind of cypress and stuff like that. So that's why evergreens and a windbreak is vital in this environment up here. So I found a hedge that I want to prune. There's one, there's loads. So I found 2 of the hedges I want. So there's more macrodonta here. I've gone to that bit I was just talking about. And there's Escallonia. An Escallonia apple blossom, lovely shrub. Bees go crazy for it. So it's one of those bee-friendly plants, and it's evergreen. I don't think it'd do so well up here, but it does. And this would be the perfect one to take some cuttings of. Look at it, looks like needs a haircut anyway. So I'm going to take from here, so I don't want it to look too battered. And I'll take some from this macrodonta. So let me just get busy here, because Yeah, there's loads of it, so I will take some cuttings. And look, and let me explain a bit more about Escallonia. Flowers between October and June, but I think this one just carries, I don't know why it's carrying on now. Like if you know about why it's carrying on flowering still now, obviously it's happy, then let me know. It could be a different variety, but that's the main time they flower. And I forgot to mention, it's late morning right now, and that's the best time to take cuttings in my eyes, because the plant's kind of turgid, it's kind of swollen. That's just another word of saying swollen. So the plant's swollen, full of water, so it's kind of ideal for it. And Google will say, like if you were to Google and say when's the best time to take cuttings of an Escallonia or macrodonta, sorry, Olearia, they might say late summer, late spring, but trust me, yeah, Google likes to give advice and give you some top tips and stuff, but honestly, winter time is by far one of the best times to take cuttings of most shrubs. Like obviously some shrubs and plants and trees are special, but honestly, Escallonia and macrodonta, they'll be fine. Like I know it's windy up here, but I've got the perfect spot for it. So I'll explain more later on in the vlog, and you'll see where I'm going to put it, and it's going to be nice and shut and nice and calm and nice and relaxed, and they should take. And I've got a little hidden surprise that I'm going to put in my soil as well, so stay tuned for that. So as for the cutting, see, this is the perfect bit for me to cut here. It wouldn't be noticeable if I were to cut it back because it's kind of in the way, it's encroaching. And he does a lot of maintenance here, this guy. He's really good. He kind of keeps everything in check, keeps the paths clear so no one hurts himself, which is lovely. It's about a 5k trek if you want to come here. Recommend if you come to Uist, definitely come here, because I know it's a bit of a dismal day like now, but honestly, on a lovely day, this place is beautiful. It's a beautiful now anyway, so back to cuttings. So, I should have planned this before, but I could have started cutting the hedges like right at the beginning of the trek, and I've still got about 5k to walk, so I'll see if there's any. Ooh, I don't think these foxgloves go crazy up here. I forgot they grow wild. Don't really want them on the cross because it's not good for animals. Can kill a child, can make an adult sick. So I'm sure there's other shrubs, there's other evergreens. I feel to take these back to the van and then walk back. It's not far to go. I might do that, I'm not just walking around with these. Sod it. I've got energy. I'm a bit bunged up, but I'll win. And I don't want any rhodos. Rhododendron is not the one. So, I threw in the towel. Kept walking and it started to rain. I don't mind the rain, but it's just the camera's getting wet, so it's kind of slowed down right now. So please excuse the wind if you can hear it. But I've got my bag of Escallonia and a bag of macrodonta. So I'm going to go back, and I do want some more Olearia. So what I might do, which I will do, I'm going to get some cuttings off Kate. Because if you're new here, click the top right of the screen, you'll see a vlog where I come here first time and talk about planting bulbs and stuff. And it's a nice little, I talk about Olearia traversii, which is a lovely shrub. I prefer that Olearia, but this is a bit more broadleaf, so it can make sense why it would do a bit more of a windbreaky kind of vibe, basically. So it's windy today, it's closing the door. So hang tight. I'm going to go back now to the house, and I'm going to talk about the soil I'm going to put these guys in. So we're back in South, in the lovely Kate's garden. So what I'm going to do, so basically over here, there's Olearia and macrodonta. I know I could have taken from there, but it's a nice shape. And if I would have taken cuttings from there, it would have been noticeable. So that's why I went all the way down. It's only just down the road. Ooh! I might ask Kate if I can get some Griselinia. That's another evergreen shrub that we have here. Have a look at this one. We got it on the mainland. A lot of people use them as toporizing and stuff. So what I might do is just squeeze in here and get some of those ones. And this is, believe it or not, this is a member of the honeysuckle family. It's called Lonicera. Not sure if it's nitida. It's not this Lonicera. I find put the bottom name at the bottom of the screen. But lovely, because nice sweet flowers and the bees go crazy for. Comes out around summertime, and it make it smell slightly, and you can toporize it. So both of these shrubs are great for topiary. Lovely shrub. I've got some formium already. I don't really need. I could have some more of that, but right now the deer are eating it. It's annoying me. Like they don't have deer here are rife. They come around and they're not sure what to eat because there's so many of them. And then Malcolm's here, hello. And so I'm going to take some cuttings of this. But what I'll do, spice it up. Tomorrow there's going to be 80+ mile-an-hour winds. So I'm going to take some cuttings of this in the wind so you can see how strong the wind is. So I'll get some cuttings of this, get some cuttings of that. And over here is the Olearia traversii. This is the great hedge. Look at that, look at this. This is like a good, how tall? About 20 foot tall. So take some cuttings on that, that won't be noticed at all. Oh, and I might get some of this. So this is another Olearia. This is kind of for everyone, kind of Olearia, rosemary something. Bottom of the screen again. See, there's so many new plants I'm kind of taking in here. Olearia is very new to me. And then over here, just run around here, is, I'll see this having lunch. We have Eleagnis, and I've got some of this already on the croft. Lovely shrub, autumn olive, it's another name, and it flowers around late winter time. Not sure when this Olearia flowers, if I'm honest with you. This one flowers similar time to the other macrodonta, but it's not as showy. It's more, it's like an olive and a bay combined, if you know what I mean. So Eleagnis here flowers in late summer, like winter time, and you get these kind of nice berries, and apparently you can eat them. They're a bit like they taste a bit like, I've tasted them, they taste a bit like squash, weak squash. So I don't know if that's tickles your fancy, but give them a go. If you've ever stuck out in the woods, you can eat these berries. So, and this is a nitrogen fixer, so it's another good plant to have. So a very good one to kind of have around and stuff. So let me just see if there's any more shrubs here. I'm getting excited, but it makes sense for me to do so. And we have another nitrogen fixer here, which is a sea buckthorn. Bit of a thug, does like to spread and go all over the place. But again, I like it because, let me turn you this way so you can see me, sorry about that. Complexion again being dark. So yeah, so I'll take some sea buckthorn. So like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna go out in the wind, into the rain, and I'm gonna get some cuttings. We are in the compost heap. And here's what I done. I'm not kidding, I didn't do this. Malcolm did it for me. Thank you, Malcolm. But look, we've got my trailer full of soil, and this is going to come to the croft. And I'm going to take some pallets, because I brought these down here to chop up for firewood, but I need them to kind of make my little barrier. So this soil is it's full of all sorts. That's not bindweed. It's definitely not. If it's, to me, I know everyone's got weed is in the eye of the beholder. And to me, bindweed is by far my most annoying weed, because it climbs up the plants and it leaves that stupid dead skeleton kind of stem on there, and it just looks awful, and you've got to pull that off, or you can leave it, but it just looks trashy, doesn't it? Best place I've ever seen bindweed is on a country hedge. It's native to here, Convolvulus arborinus I think it's called, and yeah, it looks nice when it's over there, but not in people's gardens, not in gardens. It's a thug, it's annoying, and it's got a similar root system like this. This is definitely not bindweed. I'm sure Kate doesn't have bindweed in the garden. I'm sure she doesn't. It does look like it though, doesn't it? But I'd have to kind of keep my eye on it. But we'll see, innit? At the end of the day, I mean, persistent wins. If you keep persistent and get rid of the weed, you will win. So over here, this is where it's come from. This is where the soil has come from. And I know there's ground elder in here, and which is, you can eat it. And there's, what else is in here? Let me turn you around because it's a bit dark over this side. And there's lots of buttercups in there, a lot of daisies, a lot of forget-me-nots, but a lot of, Allium triquetrum, free leeked garlic, basically, or free flowered leek, or something like that. Can't remember the exact name. I remember the Latin name, but when the common name, it gets confusing. And that is by far one of the most thuggish alliums out there. You can get told off for planting it now on the mainland. There's some new countryside act, which is kind of mad. But it's like this. Is this stuff here? So basically, it's this stuff. It's here. Honestly, it smells. You can. My nose is blocked, and I can still smell it now. So mustard again. A few dandelions. I love dandelions. And call me bonkers, but there's mare's tail in this pile as well. Yeah, I'm actually going to use this soil with mare's tail, but I'm not spreading this all over the place. And plus, a lot of these wildflowers, i.e. weeds, don't spread via seed. They spread via the rhizomes and the bulbs and stuff like that. So I'm not too fussed about that. So I know I can keep in control of it. And mare's tail has its purposes. We'll talk about that another day, and I'm going to go and dive in depth. And with the three-cornered leek, I think that's what it's called, you can eat it. So if you've got a problem, you can find different ways of sorting it out and stuff. So I've got a perfect spot for it. And like I said, I can keep an eye on it. I'll be looking at it every day, so I can keep it in check. And if it starts to spread, then I can just eradicate it. So that's why I'm not too fussed about it. So, and let's explain why I'm using this soil. So yeah, so back to soil. The reason why I'm using this soil is because it's nice, it's sandy, it's loose, it's ideal for new cuttings. Because these plants ain't got roots on right now. So for me to just chuck them, I could chuck them in water and let them take first, but I don't like doing that because then the water gets stagnant, so it's a bit more work for me. I'm I'm kind of lazy in that way. I'd rather just kind of stick them in the soil, and if they take, they take. If they don't, they don't. But I'm kind of sure that 80% of these plants should be able to take in the position I'm going to put them in. So with this soil as well, it's perfect because it's nice, it's loose, it's sandy, and you want that. You don't want cloggy soil. Some plants, don't get me wrong, some plants can take cloggy like clay. You can stick a plant like, for example, willow. Put willow in any soil you want, it will take. That's how willow's mad like that. But we can talk about willow another day when I find out more. Click here. But yes, I'm putting all these cuttings in this soil, and like I said, it's full of wildflowers and things that annoy me, but I'm not fussed with it because I know I can keep on top of it, and I have something in my boot. But yeah, so this is the soil I'm going to use. So the wind now is blowing this way, south. And it's good that, well, most people in the US have two doors because obviously the suction. You open this door, have this door open, it's just like, wah! So I'm trying to open this door and I'm struggling. You can hear it. Let's get out. Right, so I hope you can hear me, but let's put some music on and let's get some cuttings. So I've got the cuttings, I've got this thing, I was hoping it makes a difference, and I'm explaining some of my observations that I saw because I couldn't really speak outside because it was too windy, but let me point some things out to you. So, it literally blows you along. You feel alive. I tell you, I've got shorts on right now as well, my legs are like going ding 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 ding. I should have used them original source mint shower gel, isn't it? That'll get you going. You ever use that, stand in front of the fan afterwards, woo, things will tingle. So yeah, let me come around here. Where is it? This is what I saw. Surprising how good the windbreak the house is, because I'm outside now, full wind, you can see the wind blowing this, and as soon as I move here, that's when it hits me. But here, look, let me show you. So as I was cutting Olearia, it was quite funny, the sea buckthorn was like attacking my face. So I managed to get a few cuttings off here. And so over here, hope you can still hear me, but the wind burn, you can see here, lovely wall, dry rock wall, great natural wind defense. So all the veg can have as much fun as possible, but the tall growing stuff, like the fennel, struggles a bit. So you can see it's still green at the bottom here. Oh look, the little wren, oh, sparrow, so it's come out. But yeah, the wind burn is severe up here. But if you look at the Olearia here, it is buckling, bending, bowing, whatever you want to say in this wind. But it's surviving. But if you look down here, when I was on the other side, I was cutting some cuttings from in here, you can actually see it flexing. So it's quite scary to stand under here, but you can see it wobbling if I stand long enough. You see that? Jesus Christ. So it could fall on my head any minute. If this vlog doesn't come out, you know why. But it does do the job. Because if you look, the formium's moving, yes, but like very minimally because of this windbreak here and this dry wet wall. So this one's moving a lot more than this one. So it just goes to show, like, it does help. Oh, there's a Griselinia in here, I didn't know. A little one, I might take some, well, I've taken from that. I've taken enough cuttings, I don't want to get involved with that anymore. The bag was flying around like it was American Beauty or something. But it served its purpose. But what I would do, if it was me, I might even suggest it to Kate, is to lock this bit off, turn this more into a hedge. It's quite nice to have this kind of this effect here, but the grass is still happy, but this form is never going to take or never do amount to anything being in this position because of the sun and stuff and this kind of old Olearia leaning over. So I was just going to cut it right back, get some nice cuttings from this, cut this right back, and then have this dense up and perform like a proper hedge. so that it will create like a more, because right now I can still feel the wind, not as bad, but I know it would be a lot more kind of, for example, there's big massive voids and gaps. But if I were to have this as a nice thick dense hedge, it would serve more of a windbreak to kind of the whole rest of the garden. But like I said, look, the rest of the garden is kind of cushy. There's hardly any kind of breeze on the oaks and the willows and stuff over there. Okay, I say that and it starts blowing now, but that's what it's kind of coming across over here right now. But yeah, the wind is no joke up here, people. It's no joke. Put it this way, you put your clothes out, they'll dry in seconds. Also, I never mentioned this before, but Kate's got an apple tree, or quite a few apple trees. She gets a lot and lot of apples. I'll see if I can find a picture, but honestly, she had a good, like, I couldn't count them. That's how many apples that were. There was more than I expected. So she has them espaliered all on the side of the fence here, or the drive-up wall, because, you mean, they get any taller, they're just going to get windburn and just die out. So it's definitely doable. She hasn't got a greenhouse, but south is that way. She's got no barriers apart from the hedges and the walls and stuff, but the sun just gets all the sun that it ever needs. I'm sure if it was on this side, I wouldn't be surprised if it could work on that side, but we'll never know. But she hasn't, that's not my garden, so, but they work on this side. So yeah, apples grow in the Outer Hebrides outside. So I'm trying to hold the camera steady, but it's kind of crazy. But if you don't believe me, I'll come back in summertime and I'll film some of these apples here, because I will be doing a vlog here, a tour every season, because I've done summer, late summer. Yeah, it was really late summer. So I'm gonna come, I've done winter pretty much. I'm gonna do spring, summer, autumn, and yeah, I want to see how long, because they've got buddleia here. Look, have a look at the buddleia. I love buddleia. You can have a bit like Marmite. You can love it or you hate it. But you can see here, it's struggling again. But it apparently doesn't flower for that long, because it just kind of like the wind just kind of just blows all the petals off. But I've seen about a good 10 flipping bees and butterflies on just one buddleia on the mainland. They love it. It grows in train tracks, grows outside walls. Like, it's a bit of a thug, but it's a beautiful thug. Beautiful tree, beautiful shrub, sorry. So I'd highly recommend it. Also, whilst I'm here, Kate, I spoke about these last time in the last vlog. Click here if you want to know that vlog. And she said that she's going to give these away, but she said I can have them, so I'm going to take them. Oh, and here's the other hybrid. So remember, there's Olearia, traversii, Olearia, Rosemere Manera, I can't remember my names. Put it down here. It's a bit of a tongue twister. And then there's macrodonta. So all same family, but they've hybridized, and some of them are in there. She's got some in a little greenhouse, and this is one of them. This one here. So this is a mixture. You can see it's not like, it doesn't look like Olearia. It doesn't look like any of them, but it's definitely Olearia, and it's a hybrid. So she said she's going to give me some. If it gets bigger, I will take some cuttings, but that's just a year's growth. That just goes to show how well it can grow here in a windy, and the windy area. That's what I meant to say. So let's have a look at the cuttings in the greenhouse. This is such a lovely greenhouse. I say greenhouse, a little shed, little store. Let's have a look. It's like a little hobbit house. You've got a duck there. Mind your head. Ooh. Let's get in there. Lovely little room there. You gotta love this room. This is when the little cat, when they had a cat, used to come in here on the stormy day, ping pong. He sadly passed away last year. This year, actually. Oh, it's last year. It's 2022 now, isn't it? But look. Here are the Olearia kind of hybrids. And these are some of them honeysuckle.